Hi, YouTube. Well, I'm well. Welcome to season one, episode 5, which is the season finale of Wellbeing Wednesday. I'd just like to take this time to say a massive, blessed, strong, happy birthday, bro, to Most Higher. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I hope that it's a birth week that you get to celebrate on the weekend. And I'm glad to know you, to yes you another year, beloved. All right, boom. Nubian Angel, pieces. You all right, Angel? All right. Well, to be truthfully honest, I don't really have anything planned for this session. PK, I don't really have anything planned for this session. I have, now you don't know, bro. Um, I literally just wanted to complete the Gestalt, get to the end of the season. I do know that it's time to take it a bit more seriously. Like the first season was literally to just rip the plaster off, take the training breaks off and go, well, what you gonna do? You get me? And now that I've done it, I do see, okay, what went well, what not so much, and how to learn from a process, how to move forward. Um, like I think it was last week when I updated like my Instagram feed, I one of the things I said, because the symbol that I used was a Ghanaian Adinkra called I can't remember what it's called to be honest, in true, but it stands for courage. I think it's courage and valor. Um, and one of the captions on one of them was like it takes courage to get things wrong. And I know in a couple of shows back, I was talking about sometimes you have to take the W's, the well-being Wednesdays to get to, no, you have to, shame. Okay, you have to take the L's to get to the W's, the well-being Wednesdays, all right? I got my own self, boo. And so, yeah, so basically, at the end of the season, I'll be taking a break. I'll be back on the 21st of June, which is a Friday. So it'll be Feel Good Friday. Um, I think it'd be good to kick it off on a Friday. It will also be like at the start of the no, should I even now just talk about it on the Friday, because I've had a few people kind of give me a few pointers and say, well, boy, when you do this, not so much. When you do that, maybe have you tried this or that? So it's just to kind of sit down with them and listen to the feedback and put in some more structure so that I can deliver better quality content or the kind of content that I want to deliver to you. It is Wellbeing Wednesday. Maybe if I go in just to kind of recap, um, what is Wellbeing Wednesday? Wellbeing Wednesday is for most of us that kind of do the kind of 9 to 5, or even those of us that don't, that are on the entrepreneurial hustlation, which is like a whole nother panda. Um, Wednesday is like the midpoint of the week. And so it really is helpful to have that midweek kind of point to just kind of demarcate, to check in with self, to say, well, how am I doing? Like, how well do I feel? And that's why, like, and I love alliteration, obviously, but even just aside from that, like, it's just that weekly checking, like, how am I doing? How are you? Like, how you doing? You all right? Angie, hello, darling. And it is mad how I just said, how you doing? And you turn up, sis. So it's just to check in and say, how are you? Like, how am I? What do you need? Like, at this point in the week, is there anything that you need? Like, not necessarily want, because sometimes, yeah, right, let me just do the wants and needs thing because I can't stress this enough. You got wants and you got needs. 9 times out of 10, wants, yeah, the things that we want are fleeting and it's temporary, and it's very rarely that the things we want last throughout our lifetime. You get what I'm saying? It's like if you think back, boom, you think back 10 years ago for some of us that's old enough for that, or even 5 years ago. You think back 5 years ago and think about the things that you wanted. At the time, you really, really, really wanted this thing. For some, it could have been, I don't know, a pair of Slurpees, or I don't know, a pair of Jordans, or it could be that buff thing that you had your eye on, or it could be that certain food or whatever. For some, it's a pork chop, and now they're a vegan. Do you get what I mean? Like, it could be anything. But 9 times out of 10, the thing we would have swear blind, pod blood, said we wanted it, yeah, 5 years ago. If you ask us if we want it now, we just say, yeah, la, la, la. You get what I mean? So once is a funny thing. Okay, okay. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, when you think about it, about the things that we need, it's a different, whole different story altogether now. Because the things that we need are often the things that we'll always need, if that makes sense. Like shelter, like being loved or loving, whether that's from others or yourself, whether to be fulfilled, to be like stimulated, to be acknowledged. These are needs that will be constantly there. And this is a thing, like, needs are our needs. Our real needs are often met more often than we kind of give credit for. Because it's mad. I can't even. When it come time to write you know, I don't even want to talk the thing too much. When it comes time, yeah, when I really decide that, one of the times when I decide to do a story time, yeah, on this day, like, well, on this whole, basically, what do I need? I digress because I'm going off on a tangent. I mean, no one give it too much just yet. It's just a little nice little roundup, nice little roundup. But yeah, midweek check in. How am I? How are you, babe? Because I'm gonna be like a brummy till the death of me, and it don't matter where I go, where I live, you're still gonna hear that flattened sing song note. If you don't like it, cock it is. Yes. Don't like how it looks. Slow blink. Yes. All who like it are happy. Um, it's for you I'm talking. Yeah, so what was I saying? Tired, you know, family. Use them wore me out today. Oh, they're lovely, like they're so lovely. Do a little homework club on a Wednesday afternoon, and they're actually just like brilliant. They're tiring, like, but they make me smile. 12 like little, yeah. But when we did the needs and wants, or every time, every single time, what you have needed has always been there. What you want necessarily hasn't always been there. Sometimes what you've needed and what you've wanted has been there, but what you have wanted, I mean, what you have needed, sorry, the things that we need have always, always, always been there without a gap, without a, oh, I couldn't do it this time or whatever. And that's an amazing track record, and it's an amazing way of saying, like, I'm grateful because, like, what I needed for Wellbeing Wednesday has manifested itself, you know. And so it's just to take the time to grow and learn and listen and grow, you know. And I needed that to happen. It's difficult to ask for help. Like, that is one of the hardest things, because actually what it feels like is putting your vulnerability in somebody else's hands, and they can either hold you up or they can drop you. Do you know what I mean? So 9 times out of 10, it's like, I'll do it myself. You get me? Like, you can't take no step with that. We're not doing that. Do you get what I mean? And necessity is the mother of invention. Let's put it like that. So it's one of the hardest things to go, you know what, I'm doing this, and just a little bit of help. I just need some help or some guidance. It's hard, man. It's hard because, first things first, you've got to get through the layer of people just watching you go wrong, knowing you're going wrong, knowing how you can get right, but just watching you go wrong and not saying a word. You get me? You got to get through that layer. Then you got to find the people who really do care, but are so overwhelmed themselves they can't really do that much. You get me? They can't give you what you need. So it's like you've already got through the two no's already, because it's no, ain't it? Like, well, I can't depend on them, or I can't depend on them. So it's like, if the circumstances is telling you you cannot depend upon, it takes a really strong, unbreakable, determined, loving, ego in a coma kind of thing, a humble, that's the word I'm looking for, a humble spirit, mind, psyche, to get them knows, I need help, no, I need help, no, to be in that place and still ask for help. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you're only as strong as you are vulnerable. And that's a very, 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 very vulnerable place. But you can only find your strength in vulnerability. So you see how it was, how many berries, yeah, was put in front of the vulnerable. That's how many need to go in front of the strong, because it balances out. You get what I'm saying? So I say that to say this. Actually, like, there's nothing to even worry about at the end of the day, because it's like, if you fall on your face, you can only go up. Do you get what I mean? Like, and then there's this beautiful sense of peace and surrender, and actually, well, if I ain't come backside, sit down. You get what I mean? That comes over you and go, oh, and the world doesn't end if I do that. And it's just wonderful, you get me? Like, it's so liberating. And at that point, nothing can't really phase you, like, or make you feel like scared or whatnot, because actually there's always a counterbalance. You get what I'm saying? So, and there's something really to be said. But hold on, where's my manners? There's something to be said about faith and holding the faith. You know what I mean? Because all is mind and everything was created from a thought, isn't it? So if everything was created from a thought, so is the belief or the inherent knowing that every need has always been met, always will be met, always is being met without break, without a gap. And it's like understanding that and surrendering to that, because that's surrendering to something that's greater than you. Like that feeling of surrendering to something that's greater than yourself. Like I have experienced that feeling, and it is bloody flipping marvelous. Like surrender, like because for years, isn't it? Like man's a warrior, isn't it? Like I'm a firebrand. Like I am fire. Like I have. It just is. It is what it is. Like warrior firebrand. I'm gentle with it, but a warrior nonetheless. Like at the same time, that experience of feeling and succumbing to, I like that word, succumbing. It's very brand, it's quite onomatopoeic as well. Of just surrendering to the thing, firm. Like you really can't beat it. You really can't. It's like you know when you do the trust exercise, yeah. You know the trust exercise when you cross your hand and you fall backwards, and it's like security. Then, boom, security would be, yeah, crossing your arms and falling backwards, knowing that the people them is gonna hold you. The people whoever's and stretch out, yeah, they're gonna hold you. That's security, yeah. Surrender for me, and I could be wrong, and if it feels different for you, like please, like feel free to say. For me, surrender is more like, yo, I'm crossing my arms and I'm letting go, flinging back, and it don't matter whether there's somebody behind me or not. I know I'm not gonna bust my head on the concrete. To me, that's surrender, because whatever, every all his mind, everything became from a thought. If you want to go kind of psychological, scientific, and if you want to go with spirit or like the voice, like the inner, the still small voice that says, "Yo, it's time to fall back." Literally fall back, you know. Like most people think, like that thing fall back, like it's a saying, like when it's about to pop up or whatever. That phrase fall back, like is a warning, 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 warning. You get me? To say, you know what, fall back. And but the thing is, it's such a beautiful thing because 9 times out of 10, if people do fall back, metaphorically, it saves a lot of headache and confusion. And it's the same sometimes with a situation, yeah. It's like sometimes you need to just fall back, humble yourself, surrender, humble. That's why I will forever be a humble. You get me? Even though I'm a big old grey bacterial woman, yeah. I'll forever be a humble you, like that you within is humble, bad, because humility is just one of the most beautiful tasting dishes in the smorgasbord of life. No, see, I'm a big girl, you get me, and I have to bring it back to food. You get me? Talking that I need to drink some water, come my head a hot me. All this rain and imagine I'm dehydrated, terrible. Watch my mouth look dry. Oh, the cascade, the cascade, the cascade. Please trust and believe me, yeah. When my craving self is squatting down, dehydrated self is squatting down the water, yeah. Trust and believe, it's like a water salute to you, you get me? It's literally like to anybody who's watching, who will watch the playback, yeah. Anybody that's watching the live, it's a water salute. And one big gulp for truth. Because it did. It literally feels like, you know, when you see a really beautiful waterfall, and it's like you see, it's like you're feeling that experience of seeing a waterfall, but inside, you know, your body. Like, what a lovely gift to give yourself, like to be like, as above, so below, as within, so without. You get what I mean? It's like just trying to replicate nature as much as possible because we are nature, like so. It makes sense, I suppose. And it feels nice. You say, hi, Chelsea Lassie is going to start screaming breathing or, yeah, man, breathing. Funny you should say that, because like, in the daytimes before I do the homework club, um, I do some Reiki and two beautiful clients that I have. And what was amazing, because they're friends, so it's like the one person was coming, just on the off chance they was experiencing some pain one day, and I asked them, just on the off chance, do you want me to put some Reiki on it for you? What's Reiki? Explain a little bit. Yeah, go on then. And I was like, all right, boom. Place my hands. I was like, yo, something, something I can feel it. I'm like, all right, boom. That just makes me happy because I love Reiki. I just love the experience. Like you can get these hands. Um, so excuse me. Um, the following week they brought their friend with them, and I was just like, okay, nice. And then we had our experiences. We both walked beside each other as we experienced Reiki, which is it's just the best, really. Um, and this week they came. How deep is this? Like the friend of the original person, they brought with them a Japanese flute. What is it called again now? A something shika. I'll have to look it up, and I promise you, I will get that will come up in later dates. But how amazing, because Reiki, or the version of Reiki that I practice, is Japanese, and this woman had brought this Japanese flute. It was amazing, made out of bamboo, two pieces that screw together like a big piece of bamboo. It's probably about the length of my forearm. Yeah, and like I thought it was carving patterns around the bottom of it, like, but it was actually how the bamboo grew out to the side of the mountain. I was like, yo, what kind of mysticism? So it was amazing because the original person, they had their Reiki treatment while their friend was playing this Japanese flute. So, which like it was just off the chain, like, and it just come to me, and I thought I'd share it because it was something else, man. And as it was Most Higher reminded me, like there was a point um, where we was doing the grounding, and we was literally, yeah, we're gonna breathe this thing in and out. It was, yeah, it was beautiful. So yeah, and thank you very much. Like it was, that's been making me really happy actually. Like happy making on a Wednesday, even though I'm tired, I'm not done now. Get what I mean? Um, it was just very special. Hi, Mama Kay. You all right, beautiful? Oh, I love it when people pepper the hearts. It's the best my thing. Yeah, so it was really good. And why did I start that? So we've got breathing, we had water. So, well, let's do it. I spoke about fire being a firebrand, spoke about nature. So we just done earth, air, fire, water differently. Yeah, no, yeah. Because we talked about the breathing briefly, and Most Higher brought the breathing into the conversation. We had the water, come and drink the water, and the cascade, the salute. We had the earth because we was talking about being from nature as within, so without. And we had the fire, the red art! Fire now, the Aries, and it, which is the elements fire. So now spirit, I love that, Mama. Okay, now spirit, the spirit in a way is moving just like a magnet. Everybody goes say it's moving here, it's moving there, said it's moving all over the atmosphere because the spirit in a way is moving just like a hey! That's in the spirit and the vibes, man. That's the giggles. That's the vibe. the energy, 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 all the time, yeah. And it's just like whatever you're doing, whether you're on your journey home, whether you're at home, if you ran a loved one, just give them a kiss or a little conk or a little something. Just acknowledge them. If you're with yourself and you are your loved one, fifth element, boom, bam, boom, 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 bam. And it's back to the hand because I was talking about the hand as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fully with it, fully with it. I can dig it, I can dig it. See, that's just making me kick teeth now. It's making me smile. That energy, that fifth element, that transference there. Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. So I'm receive it. I'm go put my little flavor upon it. I'm going to send some back. Receive it, receive it, receive it. I will send it back. Hey, because reciprocity is key, and exchange and non robbery. You see it? All right, boom. So that was just a beautiful moment. Like, it's mad, yeah. How oh yeah, that was good. That was really lovely. Thank you so much. Mama K as well. And bro. And Angel. Ah. Oh, that's made me proper happy, you know. Like it's things like that just send me. Like money and them things don't really bother me, you know, because like I'm not used to money, you get me. But you see things like that and seeing it happen in exchange, you don't know, sis. You don't know. Seeing it happen in real time, like, you know, like these things are sometimes, this is why I say well being without the woo woo, you understand? Because more time, like when I first experienced like well being and that, you know, but to me and in my mind, it was a group of people that was just like, woo woo. Like, and whatever woo woo means to you, like, if we have a conversation one way, but at the end of the day, I'm still new to this whole broadcasting thing here, and I don't want my mouth to write a check that my ass can't cash. So at the same time, I'm still being mindful of what I'm saying, even while I'm expressing it myself. You get me? But for me, well-being and being a well-being practitioner, I thought it was some woo-woo thing. So for ages, like, I weren't even interested. But then when I started to penny and looking at the thing, I'm like, well, boom, man, and he used to have healing hand because when I used to feel like either sick or down or whatever, I'd rest my head on her lap and she would then there stroke my head, or if my belly was hurting, she'd stroke my tummy or whatever. And there was something in her hand, man. Like I'm convinced my nanny's hand had breaking because I know from when she just had this healing. It was just the right amount of pressure, the right amount of everything, and I used to feel better. Like, and even is it Bill Withers has got a song called Grandma's Hands. Big tune, big, 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 big tune. I love that intergalactic communications broadcast. Much love, sis. Much love, Empress boy. I love it. I love it. Yeah, like she had healing hands. So then it was just like, oh, she knew how to boil up or something, something, or she knew like when it was flu time, how you mix up this and that and sap. Everybody is grow up in a Caribbean house, and I don't know what the continent version of it is, but when you sup things, when you use it and sup in the places, man. Talk to me, cute. Talk to me, sweet, because I like to be educated on these things as well. Because me personally, sometimes by the time I'm educated, I see where the connections are, where the parallels are, even whether it's in the language or the practices, and I know it's there. You get me? So I'm growing up in their well-being. You get me? Certain time, wash out. Oh, that's beautiful, Mama K. Ancestral healing hands. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Salute to them out there. Yeah. You get me? So it's like when this newfangled well-being something come out and mindfulness and all them something there, like in mindfulness, just pay attention, follow your mind, all them something. You get what I mean? So that's why I'm like, yo, I'm bringing the well-being without the woo-woo. Like from where we're at, yeah, with what we got, yeah. We don't have to go up a mountain. Hey, Craig, are you all right, bro? We don't have to go up a mountain or go to a retreat. Although it's nice and it's good to do them things, I'm not knocking it at all. But in order for us to be well, we don't have to be like mad wealthy or go up a mountain because, like, all right, then boom. If that's the case, What about the road you that yams chicken and chips and gets into like mischief and fights and all of that? I'm just talking about well being without the woo woo, Craigie. If they get into fights and stuff, and then there's all the cortisol rolling around in their brain and affecting brain development, which then has an effect, or the anger in the liver, the fear that's held in the kidneys, you know, knees going out because that's the seat of emotions and what have you. Like, what about their well-being? Like, it's gonna be quite hard. Although Craig can actually speak on this. The the healing properties of when well-being is done right and is packaged and delivered in a language they can understand. They tap into it because they've been crying out for it. Like, we've been seeing it happen, ain't it, Craig? So I'm like, sans woo woo. That's why the show is called Sans Woo Woo, without the woo woo. Because that's what I mean. It's like, wherever we're at, like, how can we be well right here, right now, without having to do something? Is that a physical well? Like for myself, who's chunky, that might be going for a walk. Actually, it might be to elevate my legs so that my blood pressure comes down. Do you get what I mean? There's different, it's going to look different for each person. And it's like, if I have to then go and raise the money to book a flight, to go to a retreat, and then listen to people tell me, like, how does it, yes, it's fine in the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, but what about the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus? How does it relate in real time? Because that's the balance, really, isn't it? It's like all these kind of higher level practices, which I'm fully inner. Well, I'm not fully inner. That's a lie. If we don't tell it straight, how can they relate? True thing you talk, Craig. Um, Basically, I don't fully have them. That would be a lie. I'm learning. I'm a student of life, and I will be learning till the death of me, or not till the death of me, because I don't die. I don't die. Power of the eight, fam. Power of the eight. Yeah, power of the eight. That didn't turn out very well, did it? Anywho, I don't die in it because I'm before and I'm after. But until to the this form, this incarnation, whatever this is, yeah, until this dead, like I'm gonna be talking the same thing. Soul practitioner, that's beautiful. Ah, that is beautiful, Mama K. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. And that's what it is in essence. You get what I mean? But at the same time, it's like I'm distilling it down again. It's like, all right, boom. How many of us are really connected with our soul on a deeper level? Like, how many of us even listen to our mind, fam? Like, when your mind tells you like something like, don't don't go down there. I suggest you don't go down there. You get now, I'm being silly, but I can't help it. You get that inner voice that talks, and sometimes we don't even we're not taught how to listen to that because we're taught to listen to outside ourselves, whether it's, and I'm not saying any of these things in and of themselves are bad, but when they become the only thing, then there might be some kind of imbalance. Put it that way there. Imbalance, namaste, sis. So boom. If we're only listening to our parents, because our parents can only teach us what they know, you get me? And yeah, if we're lucky, even the most chaotic parents or non-parenting parents or parents that were still on their journey, for want of better words, the ones that didn't get it so right then. Let's just be honest, yeah. Even them can impart something because the ones that weren't so affectionate was maybe the ones that gave you some business G's or some hustling G's, the ones that were addicted, even if it was just to make you know, say, yeah, boom, I'm not doing it like them. They left you with something, but so then that's when you get the nature versus nurture argument. You get what I'm saying? And like none of us, we have a story, but we're not our story, and we do have the choice. There's an ultimate choice. Like one of the things that I always say is, who said? Who said? Who said, yeah, that you have to do everything that your parents did? If your parents did like successful, even if your parents are successful, you get what I'm saying? Who said that you have to follow in their footsteps unless it's for your higher purpose, your calling? You get what I mean? Like, for instance, uh, random example, come on, universe. All right, Will Smith and Jaden Smith, yeah. Will Smith, top actor, um, you know, blockbuster, well paid, everything, everything, everything. And his son come up, who's also like an actor as well. Do you get what I mean? Like Will Smith raps and that. His son raps and what have you. So that, but truly believe that the way them youths are, even if Will Smith were his dad, Jaden would have been like that to a certain degree anyway. It might have been to a lesser or a bigger degree, but it would have been that, you get me. Whereas you don't. What am I trying to say? I'm not even sure. So maybe I should just shut up and go off before I go off on a tangent that I can't go back from. But that was just an example of to say, but who said that we should follow in our parents' footsteps? Suppose our parents are like heavily um, substance addicted. Does that mean we should follow them? To get what I mean? And there are many people whose parents aren't are still in the school of life, then say, who have turned around to kind of say, well, I'm not going to do what they did, and went on to do something that was better or that served their sole purpose better. Do you get what I mean? And went on to be great parents. And that's nature versus nurture, and the fact that we have a story, but we're not our story. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, that's why I decided, yeah, you know what? My parents taught me everything not to do, yo. My parents taught me a lot of things not to do. Don't get me wrong. Some of the grounding, even to this day, it stood me in good stead. But yeah, a lot of the things, like literally, I guess I'm the black sheep of the family. I'll be considered the black sheep because I know that sometimes, like my mom, bless her, like she's quite patient with me, and she will get it in her own way if I break it down, because she knows like your child doesn't got really like no cute man. I'm not good. I'm not a sugar coater. I'm just gonna give you so bloom, bloom, blam, and then you digest it. If you want to season it and sugar it up, Carl Jung said the greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents. But you know what, Jung? I like Jung. Like I prefer him to Freud. Like don't get me wrong, certain things that Freud comes out with, like it's good to like listen to. But I do like the Jungian theory like more, because Jung was all up in Egypt and everything. So Jung got touched by a lot of esoteric things, and that it like I'm interested in like a lot of what Jung had to say, and that's big Craig. I like it, and it's true. Um, I personally do, especially if they don't live. And that's the thing. Mummy, sometimes I'm sure she kind of looks at me as if to say, where did I get this one from? This one, when it was made, the bulb fell on the floor and broke. And I think it's a good thing still, because, boy, I'm not sure. Well, I am. But I wouldn't like to be considered arrogant if I said, well, the world would either be a better place if there was more of me running around, or it'd be very freaking chaotic. That's as real as you're gonna get from it. And I have a feeling that it would be a delicious combination of both. It would be good, but Lord of mercy, everybody got a headache. Oh, because sometimes I even get put my own nerves. But then we'd have laugh. You know what it is? I love laughing at it. That's why. That's my juice. That's the soup. Like I choose some chunky. Like it's a laughing Buddha. I have a friend of mine, and that's what a nickname for me is a laughing Buddha, because Laughter is the living medicine that. And then because I'm bossing up here, I was remembering some shenanigans I did last week. Was it last week? Yeah, Friday. Whoa! With the Instagram filter, fam. I found this Instagram filter something, yeah, and it made the teeth and the more wide. And it tickled, oh, it just tickled off my sensibilities, man. And that's my kind of foolishness. So, oh, and you see, you know what it is as well? And it's really like, there's actually a scientific. Why are you laughing at yourself, Natalie? Because it sounds like you're gonna be chatting a bit of shit, like because you like trying to justify. I'm not trying to justify it. I don't make any justifications for it. I just love laugh. But there is a scientific reason for it as well. Yes, there is, because when you laugh, you release endorphins, and especially because I'm feeling tired. Yeah, when I feel tired, that's when we get silly. All of us in my family, when we're tired, it's like if I was sitting around my people, them now, they'd be like, yeah, Natalie's tired. When I start laughing like that, or if it's like when mum starts laughing, I go, yeah, mum is tired, or Talika's like it's just something that we just say like because we know when the giggles start. My niece does it, my nephew does. Like we all do it when we're tired. We start laughing. It's like we laugh more than get miserable. It's like we have to be completely exhausted, tormented before we will get grumpy. Do you get what I mean? And if I'm that tired, like I wouldn't be on any. Well, I probably would be on, but I wouldn't be laughing at that point. So I'm glad. I'm grateful that there's a giggle in my. There will always be a giggle in my soul because even when I'm not supposed to be laughing, I'm laughing said way. Find funny. Who was it said it? If Diggy, Infinite Dignity, Headphone Productions. He said, yeah, get the 7 chuckles in. Yes. Shamanaya, yes. What a resolution. Yes, I'm behind that in my Cat Williams voice. Well, I need some water because the motor running is dry. Mm. Boy, Sir Judges. Boy, boy. You know when it's sweet, you. Yes, yes. It's very, very sweet. Okay. So yeah, um, so we had laughter, fifth element, spirit. So I'm liking the way the flow like this had like the energy is good, man. The energy is proper good, man. I'm not gonna lie, like it's proper work, man. Like proper. Now it's saying that the video is paused and reconnecting. What I don't know what just happened there. It just said video pause and reconnecting. I paid my internet bill, so Instagram better not be acting booky, fam. I said it. And yes, because they're talking about AI, this and that. So artificially intelligent and intellect that walk, almost walk. I think it's descending into silly now. Right. Right. Wind your neck in, Natalie. So it's been really lovely. So that was basically a very long-winded explanation of Wellbeing Wednesday. What it's about. No, of well-being Wednesday because we know tied to no English grammar. You understand? Because if me a well-being and me a deliver well-being and me a deliver it so it's just as you're just going to be just as well as if you get it if I speak like that and I don't speak like that. So you're not gonna get that tutus here. That's gonna be some fake well-being from me. Get me? I'm not saying that it's fake across the board, but if you hear me start speaking, spoken and code switching and that, you know, so it's not the authentic thing and the thing that you can do, like there's not a lot I can promise you. You know, there's not a lot, but you know what I can definitely promise you authenticity in a trailer load and truckload, authenticity, transparency in a trailer load and truckload. When I feel like it, because there's sometimes where I don't feel like being, man, you know what, more time I feel transparent. Even if it's to say, you know, I don't feel like being transparent, I'm going to let you know, like, because I think everybody who doesn't like to know where they stand, you get me? So, because I like to know where I stand, I like to try and let people know where they stand. That's just my thing. Any so authenticity, transparency, humility, and Jano, healing in my own way. Them things I can guarantee you. I would have to be literally, I think, literally dead to not be able to deliver them things. Like, and even my spirit would deliver them in the immortal realm. You get what I'm saying? So I don't even know what to tell you on that level, but those things I can definitely guarantee. Yeah. All right. So, and I think that actually for people like myself that they're on the oscillation, that they're on the grind, that they're trying to strive and not trying to actually striving and doing things that may never have been done before in their family line, or that we do things different from what their family do, or do things that's different from what their community do, or doing things that's just different from their peer group do. Like, that takes time, that takes learning, that takes patience, and it's people like ourselves. It takes nurturing, fam. Like, it just raw takes nurturing, and often the nurturers are the people that's most in need of nurture themselves. And really and truly, that's what Nurture by Natalie is there. That's what I'm here for. Like, that is what Nurture by Natalie, like, it's nurture for those that need it the most. You get me? That probably have access to it the least. You get what I mean? That's why it's without the woo woo, because it's like by the time we need to get it, we don't need to be deciphering too much. By the time we need it, we need to just need. We just need it. Give it. We need it, we deserve it. It's an inherent right to be nurtured, fam, in whatever way that nurturing takes place. That's why it might be nurturing through giggling, it might be nurture through a service, it might be nurture through a conversation, it might be nurture in different ways, but we need nurture. Rosie, shouts out to Rosie, bad girl Rosie. She was an OG still. Um, yeah, and that's what Nurture by Natalie is about. Um, like I've told the story before, it was given to me by one of my youths. Miss Natalie's bare nurturing, she's bare nurturing. All right, then let's do it. Then that's that's how it started. To be fair, or that's how it was named. Started way back from that. What year? So it's the nurturing for those of us that need it the most. To be honest, the people who we don't normally associate with nurture and well-being, and like, put it this way, if you probably see me walking down the road, you probably wouldn't even associate me with well-being unless you had eyes to see. And that's the whole point, because representation is important. Like, because I don't see that many well-being practitioners that look like me. You get me? That's why when and I'm giving that that's a nephew, and I'm giving him Reiki, and he can liken it to Rasenga from Dragon Ball Z or whatever he's watching. Yo, that's representation. And my teaching assistant can deliver that thing that I see in the cartoons. Like, yo, yeah, because actually powers like that, ain't it? And it's not in an arrogant way, but everybody has an inherent power to and to nurture by Natalie is to empower people who constantly give away their power and somebody else benefits from their power, and know that they can use that power to better their lives, to better the lives of those around them, and for good as well. Because power has a negative connotation. They said this is a big rich town. Now stop it. But power often has negative associations with it, often probably perpetrated by those that have positions of perceived power and don't want us to tap into our inherent powers, because our powers can be used for good to counterbalance some of the foolishness and the burka with the poo poo. That is affectionately, that's what I call it, boo, boo, and you have to pop your lip like when you say another word which I won't say. Naughty. Yeah. So your powers can be used for good, fam, like, and you don't have to be arrogant with them. Like, that's one thing people like. I will. Here's the thing: if I hear somebody chatting foolishness in my ears, I will just don't waste my time chatting crap. You get me? Caca. Don't do that. But at the same time, most people that know me will tell you, say I'm humble and it like, and I need to stop telling people that and stop saying it and actually like ask some of the people that know me to actually come forward and say like whether or not I'm a humble youth or not. Yeah, I think we'll end it there. So that's why even the way that I end the live, I just want to say like it's midway point through the week. I hope that the rest of the week is productive for you and uplifting, and that you recognize the support that you need when it comes. I hope that you recognize what you need and have that need met when it comes. Um, I hope you can learn to either A, differentiate between needs and wants, or B, have the experience of when your wants are your needs, because that's going to be a show in the upcoming season. When your wants and your needs are pretty much the same or aligned. And then things I wish for you. And I just like to finish up by saying if you can like the video, if you're watching the playback, or if you're just watching it on YouTube, or if you're watching it on Instagram, if you can like the video, it takes if you're already looking at it anyway, yeah. Yes, Queenie! If you're already looking at it anyway, hit like it because you're already there. It's not gonna cost you anything. And it may not mean anything to you, but in terms of the platform's analytics, saying, this person is going live and it's getting a like, oh, that means that that's worth while having them on the platform. Do you get what I mean? So that we don't, when you hear people say, oh, like, share, subscribe, it's not because we're saying, well, for some of us it might be, but for me personally, and for a lot of creators, it's not about, love me, love me, love me. It's not that. It's just like, I'm trying to deliver a something for it to go up in the rankings, yeah. We're not saying leave from what you're doing, you're cooking dinner, leave from that, come on the live and hit like. No. What we're saying is if you are already looking, already, yeah, so you're on the thing like this, yeah, conversations and conversions pushes you up in the SEO search, engine optimization, and all of that. Yes, if you don't know, you're already there, you're on your phone or your tablet, just hit the like. It's right there. Click the like. Like, is it going to kill you? So then when you see, like for me, when I see that there's views or whatever, press one little there. That's exactly how it would normally come out. Like, do you get what I mean? But it's like, to me, it always makes me more wonder, why would you not? That's the part. That's the actual part. Like, to me, that's the important part. But no. I take back my chat and I stand corrected. You know what's important? You know what is ultimately and quintessentially important? Higher, higher heights. The ones that come through, the ones that comment, and the ones that like, you know what? Use are the MVPs. Use are them guys and gals. You get me? The rest, you know what? I don't have time to, but it's just a thing to say, you know what? If you are there, it really makes a huge difference. If you hit like, the YouTube channel, if you hit subscribe, like people think, yeah, YouTube people get paid off YouTube, this, that. You have to have a certain amount of likes before you can even start to monetize your channel. You get what I'm saying? And it's like for somebody who is not really interested in being the popular chick in the class. Like I've never, that's never been my thing. Like I'm always I always be the one at the back of the class. Like, and yeah, when I feel to like do my work, I'll do my work. And boy, if I'm thinking about how Saturn is aligning with Jupiter or something, I'll be thinking about that. But at the same time, I'm not, excuse me, I want to deliver a service, I want to deliver a thing. But if it's not ranking, what that actually says is it's not valuable, but I think it is. And the feedback that I have is that it's valuable. So if it is valuable, yeah, the same way how when it's you know what, I don't even want to go too deep into the thing because I know Instagram's gonna cut out in about 5 minutes. You know how like when certain brands and that turn around and tell you, yeah, I don't like you, I don't want your patronage, and you can go online and you can retweet and you can like and you can share it. Or when there's a dramas, you can retweet and like and share and subscribe and all these things, yeah. If that's valuable to you, that has some social value, that has some entertainment value or what have you, and I understand that and I get it because sometimes we need a little bit of switch up. But at the same time, you can't then be turning around and saying, you know what, we're stressed, and then somebody's like trying to, not trying to, somebody's using their own experience and stresses to bring something to you for you to turn and say, you know what, we don't value that, or we value the shaggery more than the thing that's supposed to be helping you through the thing. What you really saying to me, eh? What you really, huh? Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. So that's the reason why, really. Like the thing, if you're already watching it, like it, please. Especially if you got to this far. That's why I purposely leave it till the end as well. Do you get what I mean? Because it's like, how can you watch a thing all the way to the end and then not? You're just gonna click off it. Like I understand if you're watching it 5 minutes now, not really my thing. Fine, I promise you, like we're not. I'm not begging out here. Like we're not begging it like that because it's not everything for everybody. However, if you've watched it, so you got to this point here, yeah, then you what's the YouTube link? You know what? I'm gonna okay, Queenie, I'm gonna post that as a comment on the live in a second because my YouTube doesn't have a specific link at the moment. You can literally go on YouTube and type in Nurture by Natalie and the YouTube link will come up. Like basically it's Nurture by Natalie across all platforms except for Twitter where there weren't enough letters allocated, so it's just Nurture by Natalie without the E at the end. But everything is Nurture by Natalie. So whichever you go on, whether it's Pinterest, you might find a 1-2 dead post which I didn't get around to finishing. So Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm sure I've even got a Snapchat, even though I don't know how to use it because I need to get up to the time with the young people. So, and I need to figure out how to be putting the, you know what? We don't talk. Nurture by Natalie, big sis here. Nurture by Natalie across all platforms. And I just want to finish off by saying, you know what? I hope that you have a beautiful week. I hope that you are fully blessed. Oh, give thanks, Mama K. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Dance done. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. See, you know how to shut me up, innit? Ubuntu for real, sis. Oh my god. Yeah. See, I can run about, all day, and then but you see, when it comes to them things there, see, because that's the kind of shit that I do for people, you get me? Like, when I'm just like, yo, what the, and to see it reciprocated, that's what I mean. That's the magic happening there and then in a real time, right? So I've got 23 minutes, 20 seconds remaining on Instagram to say have a beautiful evening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your energy. And that I will try my best to give you the best that I can give. Be humble, drink water, much love. Yeah, please. YouTube decide take your oh bro, send the light dropping out. This is what happens yeah. when when you're the camera person, when you're the lighting person, when you're delivering whatever information you're delivering. This is the real shit. Peace, family. All right, end the bloody stream then, man. What to you? Suck it down off you done, man. Peace.